everyone, let me ask you a question. How many of you have ever felt like giving up? Like no matter how hard you push, the results just don't come fast enough. We've all been there. And in those moments, the difference between success and failure isn't talent, luck, or intelligence. It's grit. It's the ability to keep grinding when the excitement wears off, when the road gets tough, and when doubt starts creeping in. The greatest leaders, the most successful people, the ones who inspire us, they don't just work hard when things are easy. They show up every day, especially when it's hard, because they understand that success isn't about one big moment. It's about the small, consistent efforts that stack up over time. So today I want to talk to you about the power of relentless effort, the kind of perseverance that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Because if you want something great, you don't stop grinding. You keep going. Let's dive in. Success is often misunderstood. Many people believe it happens overnight, that it's the result of a single big break, a moment of luck, or a sudden stroke of genius. But the reality is far from that. Success is not about explosive moments of victory. It's about showing up every single day and putting in the work, even when no one is watching. It's not about how fast you start. It's about how long you can keep going. Those who truly succeed in life understand that their journey is a marathon, not a sprint. When we look at the most accomplished individuals in any field, whether in business, sports, or the arts, we see a common pattern. They don't rely on short bursts of effort. They commit to a process that requires patience, discipline, and resilience. They don't chase immediate results. They focus on long-term growth. The reason so many people fall short of their goals is that they expect success to come quickly. They work hard for a short period, and when they don't see immediate rewards, they start questioning whether it's worth it. They compare themselves to others who seem to be moving faster, and they lose faith in their own progress. But what they don't realize is that true success is built in the unseen moments. The early mornings, the late nights, the hours spent practicing when no one else is watching. It's not about pushing yourself to the limit for a week or a month. It's about sustaining your effort for years. The world we live in today makes it easy to believe in quick success stories. Social media constantly highlights people who seem to have made it overnight. We see the entrepreneur who launched a startup and became a millionaire in a year, the athlete who suddenly broke records, the artist who went viral. What we don't see is the decade of work that led to that moment, the failures, the sacrifices, the discipline. It all gets hidden behind the illusion of overnight success. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is often the ability to embrace the long game. Many people start strong. They are full of energy, passion, and excitement. But as soon as challenges arise, as soon as the grind becomes exhausting, they start looking for shortcuts. They start seeking an easier path. And when they don't find one, they give up. The ones who make it to the finish line are the ones who accept that success is a process. They don't let frustration break them. They understand that every step forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to their goal. Patience is one of the hardest but most important qualities to develop. We live in a world where everything is designed for instant gratification. If we want food, we order it in minutes. If we want entertainment, we stream it instantly. This has conditioned many of us to expect results quickly in every area of life. But success doesn't work that way. There is no next day delivery for greatness. It requires time, effort, and an unwavering commitment to keep going even when progress feels slow. Think about a runner in a marathon. In the beginning, they feel strong, their legs are fresh, their energy is high, and the excitement of the race keeps them going. But as the miles add up, fatigue sets in. Their body starts aching. Their mind begins to question whether they can continue, and the temptation to stop becomes overwhelming. This is the point where most people quit, not because they aren't capable, but because they let the discomfort take over. The ones who cross the finish line are not always the fastest, the strongest, or the most talented. They are simply the ones who refuse to stop. They understand that the race is not won in the first mile, it's won in the moments when they want to quit but choose to push forward anyway. The same principle applies to any goal in life. Whether you're building a business, developing a skill, or pursuing a passion, the key is to stay consistent. Short-term intensity is not enough. Working hard for a few weeks or months is not what leads to lasting success. What matters is the ability to keep showing up, to keep putting in the effort long after the initial motivation fades. It's about sticking with it when progress feels invisible, when obstacles seem endless, and when doubts creep in. Many of the world's greatest achievers talk about the years they spent in obscurity before they were recognized. They worked tirelessly, without applause, without validation, and without knowing exactly when their breakthrough would come. What kept them going was the understanding that success is not a single event. It's the result of years of unseen effort. They knew that every step, every failure, and every lesson was building something greater. The mindset of treating success as a marathon changes everything. It takes away the pressure of needing immediate results and replaces it with a focus on steady improvement. It shifts the attention from winning quickly to growing consistently. It allows people to embrace setbacks as part of the journey rather than seeing them as reasons to stop. When you adopt this mindset, you stop looking for shortcuts. You stop comparing your journey to others. You stop getting frustrated when things take time. Instead, you develop the endurance to keep going, knowing that every bit of effort compounds over time. Motivation is often seen as the key to success. People wait for the perfect moment, the right feeling, or an inspiring spark to take action. They watch motivational videos, read books, and seek encouragement, hoping that it will push them toward their goals. But the truth is, motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. It's unreliable. Some days, you wake up feeling ready to take on the world, and other days you can't even find the energy to start. This is why the most successful people don't rely on motivation alone. They rely on discipline. Discipline is what carries you forward when motivation fades. It's the ability to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. It's about creating habits that become non-negotiable, regardless of your emotions. Successful athletes don't train only when they feel inspired. Writers don't write only when creativity strikes. Entrepreneurs don't build businesses only when they're excited. They show up every single day, whether they feel like it or not, because they understand that consistency is what leads to results. Many people fail to achieve their goals because they believe they need to be motivated first. They wait for the right mood, the right energy, or the right conditions before they take action. But motivation is unpredictable. It's easy to feel inspired when things are going well, but what happens when challenges arise? What happens when progress is slow, when setbacks occur, or when exhaustion kicks in? This is where discipline becomes essential. It keeps you moving forward even when the excitement wears off. Discipline is built through habits. The brain is wired to seek comfort and avoid discomfort. It prefers immediate gratification over long-term rewards. This is why so many people struggle with procrastination. They choose what feels good in the moment rather than what will benefit them in the long run. But discipline rewires this tendency. It shifts the focus from temporary pleasure to lasting success. When you develop discipline, you train yourself to take action regardless of how you feel. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop making excuses. You simply do what needs to be done. The key to building discipline is to start small. Many people set ambitious goals and try to change everything at once. They decide they will wake up at 5 a.m., work out every day, eat perfectly healthy meals, and read a book a week, all at the same time. But this approach often leads to burnout. It's not sustainable. Instead, discipline grows through small, consistent actions. It's about showing up every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. It's about proving to yourself that you can stick to a habit, no matter how small. Over time, these small habits build momentum and create a strong foundation for bigger challenges. One of the most effective ways to develop discipline is to remove the need for decision-making. When you rely on motivation, you constantly have to decide whether or not to take action. Should I go to the gym today? Should I work on my project now or later? Should I eat healthy or indulge just this once? Every time you make a decision, you give yourself an opportunity to choose the easy way out. But when you build discipline, you eliminate these decisions. You create a system where action becomes automatic. There's no question of whether or not you will do it. You just do it. Another important aspect of discipline is self-control. Many people struggle with distractions, temptations, and bad habits that pull them away from their goals. Social media, junk food, entertainment, and other short-term pleasures can easily derail progress. Discipline means having the self-control to say no to these distractions. It means prioritizing what truly matters over what feels good in the moment. It means being willing to sacrifice immediate gratification for long-term success. There will always be obstacles that make discipline difficult. Stress, fatigue, and unexpected challenges will test your commitment. This is why it's important to have a strong why. When you have a clear reason for what you're doing, discipline becomes easier. If your goal is just about looking good, you may give up when things get hard. But if your goal is deeply connected to your purpose, your future, or the people you care about, discipline becomes a necessity, not a choice. Many people think discipline is restrictive, but in reality, it creates freedom. When you have discipline, you are in control of your life. You are not a slave to your emotions, impulses, or distractions. You don't wait for motivation. You create progress through consistent effort. You don't rely on external factors, you rely on yourself. This is what separates those who achieve great things from those who struggle to stay on track. Discipline is what turns dreams into reality. One small step at a time. Failure is often seen as something to avoid, something that signals the end of the road. People fear it, they resist it, and they let it define their self-worth. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is a critical part of it. Every successful person has failed, not just once, but repeatedly. The difference is that they see failure not as a final outcome, but as feedback, a lesson that guides them toward improvement. The way you respond to failure determines whether you grow or give up. Many people approach failure with the wrong mindset. They take it personally, believing that failing at something means they are not good enough. They assume that because they didn't succeed on the first try, they never will. This thinking leads to hesitation, self-doubt, and ultimately quitting. But failure is not a reflection of your potential. It is simply information. It is telling you what didn't work so that you can adjust and try again. Every mistake is an opportunity to refine your approach, strengthen your skills, and gain deeper understanding. Look at any highly accomplished individual, and you will see a pattern of failures leading to breakthroughs. Thomas Edison famously conducted thousands of failed experiments before perfecting the light bulb. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was cut from his high school team before he became a legend. Entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs and Elon Musk have faced multiple business setbacks before achieving massive success. These individuals didn't succeed because they avoided failure. They succeeded because they embraced it, learned from it, and used it as fuel to push forward. One of the biggest reasons people fear failure is the pressure to appear successful. Society celebrates winners and often ignores the struggles behind their achievements. Social media amplifies this illusion, making it seem like success is effortless and failure is shameful. This creates unrealistic expectations, leading people to hide their failures instead of learning from them. The reality is that behind every success story is a series of failures that paved the way. The more you accept failure as part of the process, the less power it has over you. The key to turning failure into feedback is to analyze it objectively. Instead of seeing it as a personal flaw, Break it down into specific insights. Ask yourself, what went wrong? What could I have done differently? What lesson can I take from this experience? When you shift from an emotional response to a problem-solving approach, failure becomes a valuable teacher. It provides the information needed to refine your strategy and make better decisions moving forward. Resilience is built through repeated exposure to failure. The first time you experience it, it may feel overwhelming, but the more you face setbacks and recover from them, the stronger you become. Over time, you start to see failure as just another step in the journey rather than a roadblock. You develop the confidence to take risks, knowing that even if things don't work out, you will gain something valuable from the experience. This mindset is what separates those who keep pushing forward from those who give up. One of the most effective ways to reframe failure is to view it as a test. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to prove how much you want something. If one setback is enough to stop you, then your goal wasn't important enough. But if you are willing to push through, adjust, and try again, then failure is just a temporary obstacle. The people who achieve greatness are not necessarily the most talented or the luckiest. They are the ones who refuse to quit, no matter how many times they fall. Failure also builds character. It teaches humility, patience, and persistence. It forces you to develop problem-solving skills and adapt to changing circumstances. When everything goes smoothly, there is little incentive to grow. But when things go wrong, you are forced to dig deeper, work harder, and find new ways to succeed. This is where true personal development happens. Those who embrace failure develop a level of mental toughness that allows them to navigate any challenge life throws at them. Another important aspect of handling failure is to separate your self-worth from your results. Many people tie their identity to their successes and failures, which leads to emotional highs and lows based on external achievements. But your value is not determined by a single outcome. Failure does not define you. It refines you. The more you detach your identity from the results, the easier it becomes to take risks, experiment, and keep moving forward. It is also important to surround yourself with people who encourage a healthy view of failure. Being in an environment that supports learning and resilience can make a huge difference. If you are constantly around people who fear failure, avoid risk, or judge mistakes harshly, it becomes harder to maintain a growth mindset. But when you surround yourself with individuals who see failure as a stepping stone to success, it reinforces the belief that setbacks are not the end, but part of the process. Fear of failure holds many people back from even trying. They hesitate, overthink, and avoid taking action because they are afraid of making mistakes. But in doing so, they guarantee failure by never starting in the first place. The most successful people are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who fail the most and keep going. They understand that failure is not something to fear, but something to embrace. It is not a signal to stop, but a sign to adjust and try again. Every person who has achieved great success has a reason behind their relentless effort. That reason is their why. It is the driving force that keeps them moving forward, even when the path is difficult, when motivation fades, and when obstacles seem insurmountable. Without a strong why, it becomes easy to give up at the first sign of struggle. But when someone has a deep and meaningful purpose, they find the strength to push through anything. Many people set goals based on what they think they should do rather than what truly matters to them. They chase success, money, recognition, or approval from others without deeply understanding why they want those things. This often leads to frustration and burnout because their motivation is based on external rewards rather than an internal purpose. The people who sustain long-term effort are the ones who have a clear reason for their actions, something that goes beyond superficial desires. Finding a strong why requires self-reflection. It means asking deep questions. What truly matters to me? What impact do I want to make? Who do I want to help? What kind of life do I want to create? The answers to these questions reveal the core motivations that fuel perseverance. When the why is strong enough, the how becomes easier. Challenges that once seemed overwhelming become stepping stones instead of roadblocks, because there is a greater purpose behind every action. A strong why also creates emotional resilience. Life is unpredictable and setbacks are inevitable. People who lack a strong sense of purpose are more likely to quit when things get tough because they don't have a compelling reason to continue. But those who are deeply connected to their why find the strength to keep going. Their purpose gives them clarity, reminding them that temporary struggles are just part of the journey. Successful athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders all have a driving force behind their efforts. They are not just working for fame, money, or accolades. They have a bigger mission. Athletes train for years, pushing their bodies to the limit, not just for medals, but because they love the sport and want to inspire others. Entrepreneurs endure countless failures and sleepless nights, not just for financial success, but because they believe in their vision and want to make a difference. Leaders face criticism and pressure not because they crave power, but because they are committed to something greater than themselves. The difference between those who quit and those who persist often comes down to the strength of their why. When the purpose behind the work is weak, every challenge feels like a burden. But when the purpose is powerful, even the hardest struggles become worth it. This is why two people can go through the same difficulties, yet one gives up while the other keeps going. It is not about talent, resources, or intelligence. It is about having a reason strong enough to withstand the inevitable hardships. A clear why also provides direction. Many people work hard but feel lost because they don't have a deeper purpose guiding them. They move from one goal to another, chasing success without fulfillment. But those who are clear on their why make decisions with confidence. They know what they are working toward and why it matters. This clarity helps them stay focused, avoid distractions, and remain committed even when progress is slow. Discovering a strong why often involves personal experiences. Some people find their purpose through struggles they have faced. They overcome challenges and then dedicate themselves to helping others do the same. Others find their why through passion, something they love so much that they are willing to endure any hardship to pursue it. Some are driven by the desire to provide for their family, leave a legacy, or create positive change in the world. Whatever the reason, it must be personal and deeply meaningful. One of the most powerful aspects of having a strong why is that it transforms effort into something meaningful. Hard work no longer feels like a chore, it becomes part of a mission. Sacrifices become easier to make because they are tied to something greater. The long hours, the setbacks, and the frustrations all become stepping stones instead of barriers. Every action takes on a new level of significance when connected to a deep purpose. A strong why also helps overcome fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of the unknown hold many people back. But when the purpose is bigger than the fear, action becomes non-negotiable. Those who are driven by a deep why do not let fear stop them because they know that what they are working toward is more important than any temporary discomfort. They push past self-doubt because they understand that their mission matters. Having a clear why does not mean that struggles disappear. There will still be obstacles, failures, and moments of exhaustion. But when the why is strong enough, those moments do not lead to quitting. They become fuel for growth. They remind people why they started in the first place and why they cannot afford to stop. A strong why is the foundation of perseverance. And those who have one will always find a way to keep going. Success is never achieved alone. No matter how talented, hardworking, or determined someone is, their journey will always be influenced by the people around them. The right environment can push someone to new heights while the wrong one can hold them back. This is why surrounding yourself with the right people is one of the most critical factors in achieving your goals. The people you spend the most time with shape your mindset, habits, and level of ambition. Energy is contagious. If you are surrounded by people who are constantly complaining, making excuses, and settling for mediocrity, it becomes difficult to maintain a strong work ethic and a winning mentality. Negative influences can drain motivation, create doubt, and encourage bad habits. On the other hand, if you are surrounded by driven, positive, and growth-oriented individuals, their mindset will rub off on you. Their ambition will push you to aim higher, their discipline will inspire you to stay consistent, and their encouragement will help you keep going when times get tough. One of the biggest mistakes people make is underestimating the power of their social environment. Many people stay in toxic relationships, friendships, or work environments because they are comfortable. They don't realize how much these negative influences are holding them back. If the people around you do not support your goals, do not challenge you to grow, or do not share your values, they will act as a weight, making it harder for you to move forward. Recognizing this is the first step toward creating an environment that fuels success. The people you surround yourself with should challenge you to be better. They should push you outside of your comfort zone, hold you accountable, and inspire you to keep improving. This does not mean they will always agree with you or make things easy. The best people in your life will challenge your thinking, give you honest feedback, and push you to reach your full potential. They will not let you settle for less than what you are capable of. Success leaves clues. If you want to achieve something great, find people who have already done it and learn from them. Mentors, coaches, and successful peers can provide valuable insight, helping you avoid mistakes and fast-track your progress. Being around people who have already walked the path you are on gives you a roadmap for success. Their experiences, advice, and mindset can help you navigate challenges and stay on the right track. Your environment should also be one that fosters growth. It is not just about the people you directly interact with, but also the influences you expose yourself to. The books you read, the podcasts you listen to, and the content you consume all play a role in shaping your mindset. If you are constantly filling your mind with negativity, distractions, or mindless entertainment, you are not feeding yourself the fuel necessary for success. But if you are constantly learning, growing, and surrounding yourself with wisdom, your thinking will evolve and your results will follow. Sometimes, the journey to success requires letting go of certain relationships. Not everyone in your life will be meant to stay. Some people will resist change, discourage your ambitions, or try to keep you at their level because your growth makes them uncomfortable. It is difficult to distance yourself from longtime friends, family members, or colleagues. But if they are consistently dragging you down, it becomes necessary. Letting go does not mean you have to cut people off completely, but it does mean being intentional about how much time and energy you invest in relationships that do not align with your goals. The right people will celebrate your successes without jealousy. They will support you during setbacks without judgment. They will push you forward instead of holding you back. These are the kinds of relationships that create a strong foundation for success. Building these connections takes effort, but it is one of the most valuable investments you can make. Surrounding yourself with like-minded, driven individuals creates an environment where success becomes the norm rather than the exception. Accountability is another key benefit of surrounding yourself with the right people. When you have people in your life who hold you to a higher standard, it becomes harder to make excuses or give up. Having someone check in on your progress, call you out when you are slacking, and remind you of your potential can be the difference between quitting and pushing through. Personal discipline is important, but external accountability strengthens commitment and consistency. Growth-minded people seek out communities that reinforce their ambitions. They join mastermind groups, attend events, and build relationships with others who share their vision. They understand that success is not just about individual effort, but about leveraging the knowledge, experience, and energy of others. The strongest people know that they do not have to do it alone. They intentionally create a network that supports, challenges, and uplifts them. The importance of surrounding yourself with the right people cannot be overstated. Every great achievement is built on the foundation of strong relationships, supportive communities, and an environment that fosters success. Being intentional about who you allow into your circle is one of the most powerful decisions you can make in your journey toward greatness. There will be days when motivation is nowhere to be found, The excitement that once fueled your journey fades, replaced by exhaustion, doubt, and frustration. The initial spark that got you started is no longer enough to keep you going. This is when most people quit. They assume that because they no longer feel motivated, they have lost the ability to continue. But success is not built on motivation alone. It is built on discipline, consistency, and an unshakable commitment to the process. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes, influenced by emotions, circumstances, and external factors. When things are going well, motivation is high and taking action feels easy. But when challenges arise, when progress slows down, or when results do not come as quickly as expected, motivation fades. This is why relying on motivation alone is dangerous. If you only work when you feel inspired, you will never achieve anything significant. The people who succeed are not the ones who are always motivated. They are the ones who show up and do the work no matter how they feel. Discipline is the key to long-term success. It is what separates those who reach their goals from those who give up. Discipline means taking action regardless of how you feel. It means sticking to your commitments even when the excitement is gone. It means doing the work even on the days when you would rather do anything else. This is not easy, but it is necessary. Success is a result of consistent effort repeated over time, not just bursts of motivation that come and go. Building discipline starts with creating strong habits. When something becomes a habit, it no longer requires motivation to do it. It becomes automatic. This is why the most successful people structure their lives in a way that minimizes reliance on motivation. They establish routines, set clear goals, and create an environment that makes it easier to stay on track. They remove distractions, eliminate excuses, and design their days around productive behaviors. By doing this, they make success a byproduct of their habits rather than something they have to constantly force themselves to chase. One of the biggest challenges people face is waiting for the right moment to take action. They tell themselves they will start when they feel more motivated, when they have more energy, or when circumstances are perfect. But the truth is, the right moment never comes. There will always be distractions, obstacles, and reasons to wait. The only way to make progress is to start, regardless of whether you feel ready. Action creates momentum, and momentum fuels motivation. The more you do, the more motivated you become. Another important aspect of discipline is learning to control your mind. The mind will always find excuses, create doubts, and try to take the easy way out. It will tell you that you are too tired, too busy, or not good enough. It will convince you to take a break, procrastinate, or lower your standards. But discipline means overriding these thoughts and taking action anyway. It means recognizing that the mind will always try to resist effort, but pushing through regardless. The ability to control your thoughts and emotions is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. Small, consistent actions lead to massive results over time. Many people underestimate the power of small, daily improvements. They expect instant results. And when they don't see immediate progress, they lose motivation and quit. But success is not about making huge leaps overnight. It is about making small, steady progress every single day. The person who improves by just 1% every day will be far ahead of the person who works in short, inconsistent bursts of effort. The key is to stay consistent, even when progress feels slow. Discipline also requires setting clear goals and having a strong sense of purpose. When you know exactly what you are working toward and why it matters, it becomes easier to stay committed. Vague goals lead to vague results, but specific goals provide direction and focus. The more clarity you have about what you want to achieve, the easier it becomes to stay disciplined. When you remind yourself of your purpose every day, it strengthens your commitment and makes it harder to give up. One of the biggest mistakes people make is relying on willpower alone. Willpower is like a muscle. It gets tired with overuse. The more decisions you have to make throughout the day, the more your willpower drains. This is why successful people remove unnecessary decisions from their daily routine. They create systems that make discipline easier. They plan their workouts in advance, prepare their meals ahead of time, and establish routines that eliminate the need for constant decision making. The less you rely on willpower, the more energy you have to focus on what truly matters. Discipline also means embracing discomfort. Growth does not happen inside the comfort zone. The most successful people are not the ones who avoid pain and struggle. They are the ones who lean into it. They understand that discomfort is a sign of progress. Every challenge, every setback, and every difficult moment is an opportunity to get stronger. The people who achieve great things are the ones who train themselves to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Ultimately, success is not about how motivated you feel, it is about how disciplined you are. It is about doing the work even when you don't want to. It is about showing up every single day, no matter how difficult it gets. It is about committing to the process and trusting that consistent effort will lead to results. The people who achieve their goals are not the ones who always feel inspired. They are the ones who refuse to quit no matter what.